You might be surprised to hear this, but there's one small, often overlooked part of your body that, if you take care of it daily, could help you live longer, stay healthier, and even feel more confident as the years go by. Most people think of heart health, exercise, or eating better when it comes to longevity, and yes, those are important, but this one daily habit is so simple, it almost feels too easy. The truth is, your body gives you little, maintenance reminders as you age. Ignore them, and problems quietly build. Pay attention, and you can add quality, and even years, to your life. So, what is it? And why does it matter more than you think? Stay with me, because by the end of this conversation, you might just walk away with a new daily ritual that will make you feel more in control of your health, even after 60. Before I reveal exactly which body part I'm talking about, let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about the connection between your daily hygiene and your heart health, your brain clarity, or even your independence? Most of us don't think that way. We brush our teeth because we were taught to. We wash our hands because it's polite and sanitary. But what if something as ordinary as cleaning a certain area could lower your risk of disease, improve your immune system, and even help you avoid some of the most common age-related struggles, without spending a dime? That's worth knowing, isn't it? If you're new here, my name is Your Name, and I share simple, science-backed tips to help you live not just longer, but better. I've worked with older adults for years, listening to their stories, their struggles, and their victories. If what we talk about today helps you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend or loved one, because sometimes, the smallest piece of advice can make the biggest difference in someone's life. Now, I know we all value our independence as we age. That feeling of being able to care for yourself without constant help from others, it's priceless. But I've also seen how quickly that independence can be shaken by something that started as a small, silent problem. I remember meeting a gentleman named Robert, in his late 70s, who came into the clinic not because of a major illness, but because he was suddenly feeling dizzy, tired, and unable to enjoy his usual morning walks. He thought maybe it was his blood pressure. It turned out, the root of his problem was linked to something he never considered, a part of his body he hadn't been caring for daily, and it was quietly affecting his whole system. We'll come back to Robert's story in a moment, because it perfectly illustrates the point I want to make today. The area I'm talking about is your mouth, more specifically, your gums and teeth. I know, it sounds too simple, almost disappointing after such a build-up. But hear me out. Daily oral care isn't just about keeping your breath fresh or your smile nice for photos. There is a direct, proven connection between the health of your mouth and the health of your entire body. Experts from Harvard Medical School to the Mayo Clinic have warned that poor oral hygiene can increase your risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes complications, and even memory loss. The bacteria from gum disease can travel into your bloodstream, creating inflammation that slowly damages your organs over time. Think about it this way, your mouth is the gateway to your body. Everything you eat, drink, breathe, or swallow passes through it. If harmful bacteria are thriving there, they're not just staying put. They're catching a ride to the rest of you. And as we age, our immune system isn't as quick or aggressive as it once was, so those bacteria can cause bigger problems, faster. That's why daily cleaning, brushing, flossing, and gently cleaning your tongue, becomes even more important after 60. It's not just about avoiding cavities. It's about protecting your heart, your brain, and your overall longevity. I've seen firsthand how changing this one habit can transform someone's health. Robert, the man I mentioned earlier, was shocked to learn he had advanced gum inflammation. The infection in his gums was releasing toxins into his blood, triggering inflammation in his arteries. His dentist and doctor worked together, and within a few weeks of deep cleaning, along with daily brushing and flossing, his energy improved, his dizziness faded, and his blood pressure stabilized. He told me later, "I thought brushing was just about teeth. I didn't know it was about my whole life." Now, I'm not suggesting that brushing your teeth is a magic bullet for every health issue. But when you stack enough small, positive daily actions together, they create a shield, protecting you from bigger, more dangerous problems. The beauty is, you don't need expensive equipment, complicated routines, or even a lot of time. Just a few mindful minutes, morning and night, can help safeguard your body's health in ways you might never have imagined. And here's something else worth noting: taking care of your oral health can also help preserve your independence. Tooth loss, gum disease, and oral infections can make eating painful, which often leads to malnutrition. And malnutrition, especially in older adults, can snowball into weakness, falls, hospital stays, and loss of mobility. By keeping your mouth healthy, you keep eating well. And when you eat well, you maintain your strength, your balance, and your resilience. I once read a passage in Dr. Atul Gawande's book Being Mortal, where he talks about the small things that give people a sense of control in later life. It struck me that so much of aging well isn't about dramatic medical interventions, it's about daily self-care habits that keep you feeling capable. Something as simple as cleaning your teeth and gums can be an act of self-respect and a signal to your body, I'm still taking care of you. That mindset matters more than most people realize. And while we're talking about mindset, I'll share a little insight from a conversation I had with a 92-year-old woman named Edith. She told me her secret to longevity wasn't just her morning walks or her love of crossword puzzles, it was her "don't skip the simple stuff" rule. She said, if I start letting little things slide, the big things will follow. For her, that included flossing every night, even when her hands ached. It's not about vanity, she said. It's about staying in the game. Part of why this matters so much after 60 is that our mouths naturally change as we age. Our gums tend to recede, exposing more of the tooth surface. Our saliva production often decreases, especially if we're taking certain medications. Saliva isn't just for comfort, it actually helps protect against bacteria. So when our mouths get drier, bacteria multiply faster. That means any lapse in daily cleaning gives harmful microbes a head start, and the damage they cause can be harder to reverse. I don't want you to think of this as a chore, but rather as a small daily investment that pays off in ways you can feel, and ways you may never notice because the problems never get a chance to start. I've met people in their 70s and 80s who credit their healthy teeth and gums for their ability to still enjoy a crisp apple, a hearty sandwich, or a steak without pain. That's not just comfort, that's quality of life. Of course, not everyone has a perfect dental history, and you might be thinking, well, it's too late for me, I already have dentures or missing teeth. But even if that's the case, daily cleaning of your gums, tongue, and any remaining teeth, or dental appliances, still matters. Oral bacteria can affect your health whether you have natural teeth or not. Gentle brushing of the gums, rinsing after meals, and keeping dentures clean are all part of protecting your body from unnecessary stress. The important thing is to see this habit as part of your bigger health picture. Just as you wouldn't skip washing your hands before eating, you shouldn't skip caring for the gateway to your body. Over time, that simple act can reduce your risk of illness, help you feel fresher, and even give you the confidence to keep socializing, smiling, and engaging with the world. And staying socially connected is another powerful longevity booster. We'll talk about that in a bit. Before we move forward, I want you to think about your own routine. When you brush your teeth, are you doing it for at least 2 minutes? Are you flossing, gently, once a day? Are you brushing your tongue, where bacteria like to hide? These steps don't take long, but they add up. And here's a little tip. If your hands have trouble gripping a toothbrush, look for larger-handled brushes or electric models with soft bristles. They make the job easier and more thorough. I know this might seem like a small topic in the grand scheme of health advice, but it's one of those areas where small neglect leads to big consequences, and small effort leads to big rewards. I've seen it too many times to doubt it. The mouth is the entrance to your health, treat it like the front door of your home. You wouldn't leave it wide open for trouble to wander in. You'd keep it clean, cared for, and protected. When we talk about oral health affecting the heart, we're talking about something scientists call systemic inflammation. In simple terms, that means inflammation starting in one part of your body, like your gums, can travel and trigger inflammation elsewhere. If you have gum disease, bacteria can enter your bloodstream through tiny breaks in your gums. Once in the blood, those bacteria can cling to the walls of your arteries, creating plaque buildup and narrowing the blood flow. Over time, that increases your risk of heart attacks, strokes, and high blood pressure. The American Heart Association has acknowledged this connection, and cardiologists I've spoken to often say they can tell when a patient's oral health is neglected, just by looking at the bigger picture of their cardiovascular health. One cardiologist told me, "I'd rather see my patients floss every day than take another pill to fight inflammation." That's how much they believe in the mouth-heart link. But it's not just the heart that's affected. The brain is also vulnerable. In recent years, studies have found links between gum disease and cognitive decline, including dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Researchers believe oral bacteria can travel to the brain, either directly through the bloodstream or indirectly by triggering immune responses that damage brain cells over time. It's unsettling, I know, but it's also empowering to realize that something as small as daily brushing and flossing could play a role in protecting your memory and mental clarity. I remember speaking with a woman named June, 81 years old, who was sharp as a tack and still volunteered at her local library. She told me she never missed her twice-a-year dental checkups and took her nightly brushing and flossing as seriously as taking her heart medication. She said, "I've seen too many friends lose their independence because of things they could have prevented. This is one thing I can control, so I control it." That kind of mindset, protecting what's in your power, is one of the best longevity tools there is. Now, beyond the science, let's talk about the emotional side of this. Our smile is one of the first things people notice about us. As we age, some people shy away from smiling because they're embarrassed about their teeth or breath. That can lead to less social interaction, which is dangerous for our emotional and mental health. Loneliness is now considered as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. If poor oral health causes you to withdraw from social activities, it's not just your mouth that suffers, it's your whole being. That's why oral care is really about self-confidence, too. When you feel comfortable speaking, laughing, and eating in front of others, you're more likely to stay engaged with your community, your friends, and your family. And that social engagement keeps your mind active and your mood lifted. I can't count how many older adults I've seen come alive after something as simple as getting their dental health back in shape. They start joining lunches with friends again, attending family gatherings, and even picking up hobbies that involve meeting new people. There's also a very practical reason this habit matters more with each passing year. Medical complications get harder to manage as we age. An untreated oral infection can make controlling diabetes more difficult. It can interfere with eating and digestion, which impacts nutrition. And it can cause unnecessary pain, which can sap your energy and make you less active. Being proactive with oral care is like building a strong fence before the storm hits. It keeps more problems from blowing into your life. Here's the good news, you don't have to be perfect to make a difference. If flossing is hard for you because of arthritis or shaky hands, try floss picks or water flossers. They're much easier to hold and control. If brushing twice a day feels like a chore, try pairing it with something enjoyable, like listening to a favorite song or podcast while you brush. Turn it into a moment you actually look forward to, instead of something you rush through. I had one client who kept her toothbrush in the living room, not the bathroom, because she liked to watch her favorite TV show while brushing in the evening. It sounds funny, but she said it kept her consistent, and consistency is what really matters here. And let's not forget about professional help. Even if you're diligent at home, professional cleanings can reach places you can't, and dentists can spot problems long before you feel them. Many dental issues are painless in the early stages, so waiting until you have discomfort often means the problem has already advanced. Catching it early usually means less pain, less expense, and a faster recovery. When you think about it, oral care after 60 is really a partnership. You do your part at home every day, and your dentist does their part a few times a year. Together, you create a safety net that protects you from avoidable health setbacks. In the bigger picture, I believe habits like this are a form of self-love. Every time you take the time to care for your mouth, you're sending a message to yourself that you are worth the effort. And that attitude often spills into other areas. You start walking more, eating better, getting your checkups, and paying attention to the little signs your body gives you. So, as you think about today's message, I want you to remember this: living longer isn't just about avoiding disease, it's about stacking small, positive actions that keep you strong, independent, and engaged in life. Brushing, flossing, and rinsing daily might seem too ordinary to matter, but that's exactly what makes them so powerful. They're within your control, every single day. When it comes to oral health after 60, there's a lot more to it than just a toothbrush and floss. Your diet, hydration, and even the way you breathe all play a role. Let's start with something simple but often overlooked: water. As we age, our bodies produce less saliva, partly due to natural changes and partly because of medications for blood pressure, allergies, or other chronic conditions. Saliva is your mouth's natural defense system. It washes away food particles, neutralizes acids, and keeps bacteria from multiplying too fast. If your mouth feels dry often, you're not just uncomfortable. You're more at risk for cavities, gum disease, and bad breath. The easiest fix? Stay hydrated throughout the day. Sipping plain water, not just when you're thirsty, but regularly, keeps your mouth moist and your defenses strong. And if plain water feels boring, you can infuse it with slices of cucumber, lemon, or berries for a little flavor without added sugar. Speaking of sugar, this is another big factor. Many people think sugar is only a concern for kids and cavities, but as we age, it can be just as damaging, sometimes more so. Sugary foods and drinks feed harmful bacteria, which then produce acids that wear down your teeth and irritate your gums. Even healthy snacks like dried fruit can be sticky and cling to your teeth, creating a breeding ground for bacteria. It doesn't mean you have to give up sweet treats forever, just try to keep them occasional, and always rinse your mouth with water afterward if you can't brush right away. Another tip that surprises people is that crunchy fruits and vegetables, like apples, carrots, and celery, can help clean your teeth naturally. They stimulate saliva flow and gently scrub your teeth as you chew. It's like nature's toothbrush. Of course, if you have sensitive teeth or dentures, choose softer options, but the principle remains: eating whole, fresh foods helps your mouth stay cleaner. Now, let's talk about something I've seen make a big difference for many older adults: tongue cleaning. Your tongue can hold a huge number of bacteria, especially toward the back. That's one reason people sometimes struggle with bad breath even when they brush and floss regularly. Using a soft toothbrush or a tongue scraper once a day can help remove that buildup, making your mouth healthier and your breath fresher. It takes less than 30 seconds but can have a big impact. And here's a habit you might not have thought about: how you breathe. Mouth breathing, whether during the day or at night, can dry out your mouth and encourage bacteria growth. If you wake up with a dry mouth, it could be a sign you're sleeping with your mouth open. Sometimes this is caused by nasal congestion or even sleep apnea, so it's worth mentioning to your doctor. Addressing it can improve not only your oral health but also your overall energy and sleep quality. For those with dentures or dental implants, your routine matters just as much. Dentures should be cleaned daily, not just rinsed, but brushed with a soft brush and mild cleanser, then soaked overnight. Any dental appliances should be kept as clean as natural teeth to prevent bacteria buildup. And it's important to give your gums a break. Don't sleep with dentures in, as this can cause irritation and even fungal infections. One thing I always tell my older patients is that discomfort in your mouth should never be ignored. Pain, swelling, bleeding, or loose teeth aren't just part of aging. They're signs your body is sending you, asking for attention. Early treatment almost always leads to better outcomes. Let me share a quick story. Margaret, an 84-year-old widow, came in with what she thought was a stubborn sore spot on her gum. She'd been ignoring it for months, thinking it was from her denture rubbing. Turns out, it was an early-stage oral cancer. Because she finally came in, the doctors caught it early, treated it, and she made a full recovery. But she told me, if I'd waited another year, I might not be here. That's why regular checkups and paying attention to changes matter so much, especially after 60. Another element worth mentioning is nutrition for gum health. Vitamin C is crucial for keeping your gums strong, and calcium helps keep your teeth anchored in place. Leafy greens, berries, citrus fruits, dairy products, and fortified plant milks are great sources. Omega-3 fatty acids, from fish like salmon or from flax seeds, can help reduce inflammation in your gums as well. And green tea, interestingly, has natural compounds that fight bacteria and reduce inflammation in the mouth. Of course, lifestyle habits also matter. Smoking or chewing tobacco greatly increases your risk for gum disease, tooth loss, and oral cancer. Quitting at any age makes a difference. Even if you've been smoking for decades, your body begins to heal the moment you stop, and your oral health will improve along with your overall health. Alcohol, especially in large amounts, can also dry out the mouth and irritate tissues, so moderation is key. The most important takeaway here is that oral care after 60 is not just about avoiding dental bills, it's about protecting your quality of life. Every bite you enjoy, every laugh you share, every conversation with a friend depends on a healthy, pain-free mouth. And when your mouth is healthy, your whole body benefits. We've talked about why oral health matters so much after 60, the science behind its connection to your heart and brain, and the small, practical steps you can take to protect it. But knowing what to do is only half the battle. Making it a permanent part of your daily life is where the real magic happens. Here's the truth, most of us don't stick to habits that feel like chores. That's why I want you to reframe this daily mouth care routine, not as another must-do, but as a gift you give yourself every morning and night. You're not just brushing teeth, you're adding a layer of protection to your heart, your memory, your independence. You're telling your body, I'm still showing up for you. A lot of people find it easier to stick with habits when they attach them to something they already do. This is called habit stacking. If you already make coffee every morning, brush right before or right after that. If you watch a favorite TV show in the evening, keep your toothbrush nearby so you can brush during the first commercial break or right after the episode ends. Pairing it with something you enjoy turns it into a ritual, not a chore. It also helps to make it pleasant. Use a toothpaste flavor you like. Play music you enjoy while you brush. If you have arthritis or joint stiffness, invest in a toothbrush with a larger handle or an electric model to make the movement easier. Removing little barriers is the key to staying consistent. And don't underestimate the power of visual cues. Keep your floss in a visible place, not hidden in a drawer. If you see it, you'll remember to use it. The same goes for a tongue scraper or denture cleaner. Out of sight often means out of mind. Now, let's address the emotional side one more time. Your health is your ticket to freedom as you age. Every step you take to protect it, whether it's walking daily, eating well, or caring for your mouth, keeps you in the driver's seat of your own life. I've met so many people in their 70s and 80s who said their biggest regret wasn't about money or possessions, it was about not taking small health habits seriously until it was too late. But here's the good news, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 65, 75, or even 85, your body responds to care. Inflammation can go down, gum health can improve, and your overall well-being can take a turn for the better within weeks of consistent care. To make it simple, here's a routine you can follow starting tonight. Brush for 2 minutes twice a day with a soft bristled brush. Floss or use a floss pick once a day. Clean your tongue gently once a day. Rinse your mouth with water after meals if brushing isn't possible. Stay hydrated throughout the day to prevent dry mouth. See your dentist at least twice a year for cleanings and checkups. That's it. 6 simple steps that can protect your mouth, your heart, your brain, and your independence. Let me share one last story with you. A woman named Claire, age 79, came into a community workshop I was giving. She had lost several teeth over the years, struggled with gum infections, and felt embarrassed about her smile. But after hearing the link between oral health and longevity, she decided to start fresh. She committed to a daily routine, made her dental appointments, and adjusted her diet. 6 months later, she came back. Not only was her gum health much better, but she told me she had joined a local senior walking group because she felt more confident being around people again. Her smile had returned, not just on her face, but in her energy. That's what I want for you, not just years of life, but life in your years. By taking care of this one small part of your body every day, you're investing in a future where you can keep laughing, eating, talking, and living on your own terms. So tonight, when you pick up that toothbrush, remember, you're doing far more than cleaning your teeth. You're adding strength to your heart, clarity to your mind, and confidence to your days. That's a habit worth keeping for the rest of your life. And if you found today's message helpful, share it with someone you care about. You never know whose health, and whose future, you might be protecting with just a little bit of knowledge. Your smile matters, not just for how you look, but for how long, and how well, you live.